If someone's very cold, maybe they've been caught out in the cold or something and it's very hard to warm them up, give them a cup of hot ginger tea and it will warm them up very nicely. Or boiling water on it and let it sit probably 10 minutes. Now that might be too strong for you, but I love it. So it can be used for nausea, it can be used to warm a person if they're chilled or cold. So very nice on a sore throat or hoarse throat. Now we're going to look at what you can do with ginger externally. So I always take a plate and I always take the plastic square. Again, you can use a wool square next to that, but you still need that plastic backing so that it doesn't wet all your clothes and also so it insulates. And then we put a cloth over it and it's usually around this size, and then I grate straight onto it. So why would I use a ginger poultice? I would use a ginger poultice for an inflamed joint. So the easiest way to remember this is ginger is for joints. So that would be gout, it would be arthritis, also a sore back, an inflamed back. If you apply a ginger poultice anywhere where there's inflammation, the ginger pulls the inflammation out of the joint to the skin and the skin gets really hot. So if you apply this to the lower back, the heat relaxes the muscles and yet the ginger is reducing the inflammation. So you do about that much, and then how you make the poultice is you put the left side over and the right side over, and the bottom comes up and the top goes down. So you can see I've made like a little package there. And then I turn that over, and the part that's touching the skin is where you've just got one layer. And the beauty of this little package also is that you've got a few layers behind, so that if it is quite wet, it will help to soak up any drips. Yeah. Now let's say that I have an inflamed joint, then you would apply it to the area there. But you can see even with the plastic on that, not much is touching the skin. It's only the very edges. And then you bandage that on. Now if someone has an inflamed joint, say a wrist or an ankle or a knee or toes, we apply the ginger poultice, or even in a sore back, we apply the ginger poultice maybe about 6 o'clock in the evening. And within half an hour, if there's inflammation in there, the skin gets very hot. And then the person has the choice when they're going to bed, is that heat all right? Because if it's too hot, they can just take it off. But if it feels good to them, they can go to sleep. If you put it on just before bed and the skin gets really hot, it could wake up and cause discomfort. But when people have gout or arthritis, the heat is usually very, very nice. And again, for a sore lower back, it's very nice because, again, it pulls the inflammation out of the joint and the heat relaxes those muscles that tend to cramp whenever there's pain. If you do have an inflamed joint anywhere, just do it maybe for 4 hours in the afternoon or even overnight, but just don't do it non-stop because, again, you can inflame the skin. One lady said, "My skin's burning." And I said, "Actually, it won't burn, but what's the joint like?" And she said, "Oh, actually, it's good." Sometimes it takes more than one night, but that ginger is excellent for joints. So remember, gout, arthritis. So again, you're just listening to the body. Now, this poultice, once it's used, because it's vegetable matter, has to be discarded, but you could make it in the afternoon and fold it over like that and use it that night.